talking about evidence-based and evidence-informed. First, I'm Anthony Abizay, Senior Programs Associate at Mentor Arabia. Evidence-informed and evidence-based programs are the main programs that we use during our prevention interventions. Let's talk a little bit about the difference between them. First, we can have like evidence-based programs and evidence practices in different fields, not only in the field that we work in, which is prevention from risky behaviors. Then you can have evidence-based in sociology, psychology, nursing, and different fields. But the evidence-based programs should follow strict guidelines and rules. They are written and conducted with public in mind. All our programs, the evidence-based programs, are following strict guidelines. We have like manuals for them, and we train people on these programs to be able to implement these programs either in schools or with parents or based on the beneficiaries and target audience of these programs. Ideally, evidence-based program and evidence-informed should be responsive to families, culture, backgrounds, community values, and individual preferences. That's why we always do, once we want to implement a program, an evidence-based program coming from abroad, we do an adaptation before the implementation of each program in the country where we want to implement it. We have, as I mentioned, evidence-based programs and we have evidence-based practices. Regarding the evidence-based program, we use defined curriculums as we will see in the next slides. For example, we'll take an example, Unplugged, which is a school-based program. And the evidence-based program are mainly, they use, as we mentioned, a specific curriculum with a set of services, and we implement it with fidelity, and these programs should be validated before. Regarding the practices, they are like an approach that is verified, it was applied, and it showed that it is successful. Then, in this way, we take the practices and we develop based on the either programs or interventions. We'll take an example, as I mentioned, a program called Unplugged. It's an international program developed by UNODC and EUDAP, a program that we brought to the Arab region and are now implemented in 4 countries. We'll talk about them in the future slides. This program it is a prime example of evidence-based programs, as it's one of the most common programs in the world and one of the most popular programs implemented in school to prevent mainly the use of drugs, alcohol, and tobacco. This program was based on the cognitive social impact model, as we mentioned, developed by EUDAP and UNODC, and it was adapted to the Arab region. It was not only adapted for the language, but also with the examples. We adapted the examples to be able to do the intervention in the Arab region. Why Unplugged is a great example for evidence-based practice? Because after a lot of studies, after evaluating the implementation of this program in different areas of the world, it shows like the increase of effectiveness and efficiency and accountability of substance abuse interventions. It steers resources towards what really works based on expert evidence. It provides a space for innovative development. It was demonstrated effectiveness with specific population and groups, and we had a lot of evaluation on this program in Europe at first, and then in Africa as well. And there is a clear link between the program's core components and the expected outcomes. And that's why the program was an evidence-based program based on the result that was shown. The program is designed, as we mentioned, to target the audience like school students aged 12 to 14, and it is a school-based program. We have a very specific curriculum with 12 lessons that the educator should follow after being trained, should follow to implement the program in schools. Mainly, we tackle life skills topics, and one of the aims of the programs is to develop personal and social skills with a focus on skills related to social impact. We have also, we correct some wrong ideas on the children, with the children about drug, about tobacco, about alcohol, and as well we give them knowledge about physical and social risk of drug use and information on cannabis marketing strategy. We implemented this program in 4 different countries: Palestine, Jordan, Sultanate of Oman, and Lebanon. And this program had a success story as it was adopted by the Ministry of Education in these countries. And this program now is in Jordan and Sultanate of Oman. It's a national program implemented for all school students. And in Palestine, we did a trial for this program, and the pilot was very successful, and now we want to expand the reach of this program. And in Lebanon, this program, we did for this program a feasibility study to see if this program can be implemented successfully in Lebanon, and now we are in the process. The blessing of the Ministry of Education is always important once we want to implement any evidence-based program, as without their blessing, it is not realistic to implement any program, as it should be on a national level, and it should be reaching the majority of the population. And before starting any program in any country, we should reach out the Ministry of Education in order to start the adaptation before the implementation of this program. As we know, we are different in culture, and every country has his own sensibility where we should be sensitive in the intervention that we should do. In Mentor Arabia, at Mentor Arabia, we developed a program called 4Z. It's for Generation Z, people who were born after the year of 1990. And as we know, these people have like specific characteristics, and they are at risk, and they have like different interests other than the millennials and others. And that's why we developed 4Z to answer the need and or request coming to Mentor Arabia from different countries and different partners. For example, we received a lot of calls talking that we need a specific intervention in schools, at schools. And that's what we did. We went to our technical team, and we developed this program, which is an evidence-informed program, because the intervention should be done directly and very fast. And once we want to implement an evidence-based program, as we mentioned, we should have the blessing of the Ministry of Education, and the process takes a lot of time. And once we want to do a quick intervention, you should go to evidence-informed programs, because you don't have enough money to do all the studies that needed, and you have the practices that you can refer to it, and you have the evidence-based program that you can refer to them in order to develop something very close and effective at the same time. In the 4Z program, we have like 14 themes where, based on the needs of our beneficiaries, after doing a quick needs assessment, we know which of these sessions can be implemented with them. We have self-esteem, decision-making, refusal skills, drugs awareness, time management, social media, communication skills, coping skills, bullying, addiction, team building, conflict resolution, goal setting, and empathy and positivity. These topics were selected based on the need of our target audience. We implemented this program in Lebanon and Jordan. As well, we did like adaptation for this program based on the need of each country and the specific target audience. And we added components to this program. And this program was the background for Youth Academy program, for example, where we took the skills from this list, then we added like CV writing sessions and interviewing skills session and other topics based on the result that we had from the needs assessment in each area. Once we wanted to develop 4Z, we considered some factors in order to develop properly the program. Strong theoretical research background, clear theory of change to explain how it will achieve the intent and the outcomes, because once you want to develop a program that may be used in the future to have from it different projects, you should work on like a theory of change, then going up to log frames based on your interventions. An evidence-based intervention or practice, which was here the UNODC and WHO International Standards for Drugs Prevention. And like we had like a program manual with 14 lesson plan, very detailed, in order to support the educators and facilitators who will implement this program. And we did like a full M&E monitoring and evaluation tools for this program in order to monitor and evaluate the successful implementation, the successful result, and we wanted to see the difference in the behavior, difference in attitude, and difference in knowledge between our beneficiaries. The implementation steps for an evidence-informed program or evidence-based as well is to recruit facilitators. That's what we did. We recruited facilitators for 4Z. We trained these facilitators. We partnered with local schools and local partners in each country, and we implemented the sessions by the facilitators. And we always choose the facilitators based on specific characteristics, and we always intend to have young facilitators in order to be able to talk the same language with our beneficiaries, which are the youth. The outcomes of the program were increased in the number of youth capable of making sound decisions, national volunteers that have their capabilities and capacities to build skills and enhance to lead the program at local levels, a network of empowered, capable, and skilled volunteers is developed. We were always looking to have like volunteers in the countries, as it wasn't in partnership with the Ministry of Education and Higher Education to keep the implementation working smoothly and in a way to make like some sustainability for the program through having the volunteers. The attitude, skills, and knowledge of school students on risky behavior and drugs was changed positively, and the prevention is increased and changed in favor of more preventive behaviors with the students. Regarding the monitoring and evaluation, it's really important to talk about this part. In any program that we implement at Mentor Arabia, we look forward to have a full M&E tools. We start by the pre-test regarding the attitude if we have like a short duration between the implementation and the result, and we were not able to have like a long follow-up. We work about the attitude, the knowledge, and once we have the resources to have like a very long implementation and finances available to follow up after, for example, 3 years. Here we look about monitor and evaluation, the behavioral change with our beneficiaries. We have on a daily basis, after implementing the session, a daily evaluation to evaluate how was the session how was the session from the student's perspective and how was the session from the facilitator perspective. And at the end of the program, we do a post-test regarding the attitude and knowledge, and as well we do a focus group with the student to have quality of information coming from our beneficiaries. We have as well like a lessons learned meeting that should be done at the end of each intervention in order to know how went well, what were the things that were challenging among the implementers, which are the facilitators, the managers for the program, and as well part of the beneficiaries. And thank you so much.